Come on. Two, we're live. Hi, we're live from
Yes, we are.
from our homes.
Hello, everybody.
Let me do our intro. We got to be professional for at least 3 seconds. Welcome to the Lunch Bunch at the Spiritual Neighborhood. The Spiritual Neighborhood is a grassroots community project of the Council of Families for Children, dedicated to the quality of life for the body, mind, or spirit, for the integration of a healthy, happy human. And today we have my friend, one I adore. Her name is Annette Bingham, and it's a funny story because Annette didn't think she would like me, and then she fell in love with me.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I fell in love with you. But I do, I love you.
So, Annette, tell them about yourself. Tell them about yourself.
What do you want to know? I came onto this because, and I have nothing prepared. Nothing. So y'all can just ask whatever you want. I will be an open book with some redacted parts.
So I have information. Let me throw something out real quick.
Where's she going?
There's no telling. She'll come back in a minute.
All right, this is.
And then she comes back. Oh, she's got your. Oh my gosh.
That's a piece of Annette's art that's in my office. I'm wearing a piece of her art. Can you see this?
Wow.
I'm doing the shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop.
And now you're making us dizzy.
So there's that.
Photos on the website if you're artwork as well.
Absolutely. And I have your book,
Oh yeah?
The Day of the Dead Meditative Coloring Book. I have that. I never colored anything in, but I was going to be taking a trip in November, and I was going to be coloring this on the airplane.
Get that book.
I got
You
it
go on Amazon.
I'll have to
And
get it.
my books are under Frances Bingham. That's my real name. That is my real name. So, but just look on Amazon under Frances Bingham.
Cool.
How many books do you have out, Annette?
Several. I've got 2 on Kindle that are View from the Threshold. It's about my time when I was paranormal investigating and when I was younger and had experiences. And then I've got a couple of coloring, sign language and parents. I've got a worry journal. I've got all kinds of things out there.
So they can just go out and look and find you at
On Frances Bingham on Amazon.
okay, Amazon. That's it. Okay, you're on Amazon.
Those were beautiful paintings.
Absolutely beautiful.
Weren't they gorgeous?
Now I know why Elizabeth wore her skull hat today. I'm excited about getting that book.
Well, I've got a painting from Annette as well, but I don't want my paintings to get messed up because it's just like seasonal, and this was strictly for Day of the Dead, and so I put all my stuff up. But I had the coloring book out because I was going to use that on the trip that I was going to be taking in November. So I'm still going to hold on to it in the event of something changes, but that was one of the first books I got from Annette. But I wanted to say, Annette and I have done a paranormal investigation. Annette and I took our hypnosis training together.
Yeah.
And Annette and I also worked on the radio as well. So we come in and out of our lives, just kind of flow in, and then we go and gather information, then we come back. So I found that to be really, really interesting.
We go way back.
Annette,
yeah, we do.
Annette used to do.
Hypnosis was the first, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
hypnosis training
well,
wasn't
it
that the
was.
first?
So when we actually met, I mean, we had seen each other before, but not met. And then we partnered up in the hypnosis.
Well, Annette used to do massage as well, and she's actually cured several issues that I've had that I've had for years and years. I had one spot in my back where when I gave birth to my daughter, they kept trying to give me an epidural, and the guy kept missing. And I finally, on the 5th time, just said, if you don't get it right, I'm going to knock the fire out of you. You know, and it left a big knot in my back for years. My daughter will be 30 this year. And Annette started working on that, and it went away after about 3 sessions. Boop. You know, this is like 26 years later, you know, so she's a phenomenal healer, phenomenal.
So out of all of your gifts, because you have many, which one are you most compassionate about? Annette?
I can't think of any. Okay, it kind of ebbs and flows. I still am. I've spent 20 years as a massage therapist. I'm done with that. That's just kind of, I'm no longer doing that. I still do the Reiki. I still am very passionate about animals and talking with them and healing them and that type of thing. But right now I'm focusing just on the art. That's where my focus is.
Yeah, Annette.
Let me ask you, those patches that I've seen you post on your
That's what I was going to
Facebook page are absolutely adorable.
Oh, thank you.
What are you doing with
love
those?
doing those.
What are you going to do with those? What are you going to do with them?
They've all found different homes.
So they're just like patches, like you sew them on, like if you're in a motorcycle gang and you want a patch?
Yeah, you sew them on. I'm gonna make myself some too, you know, because they're so much fun. But every time I turn around, somebody's saying I need a patch. So
well,
yeah, I saw that symbol with a top hat, and I thought, oh, ow, ow, ow.
That went to my son.
that's cool.
He needed that one. So
yeah, I can see that. Yep.
And I've commissioned Annette to make me some tablecloths for the parties where she embroiders a big centerpiece in the center of the tablecloth. One's going to have a lip, you know, so I can use it for the lip print things. And then the other's going to have a Celtic knot in it, so I can just use it for standard parties. So I can't wait to see those.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I've got to be able to get back into the fabric stores and stuff.
So
I really do that right now. So
one of the things I'm excited about, and I can't wait for her to finally make up her mind to do, Annette lives out in the country, out close to Lake Lavon. Beautiful place, and they have goats and they have chickens, and it's just a fun place to be.
They have snakes.
Yeah, and spiders.
Snakes, and we have a dog that eats baby bunnies,
Aww.
and snakes that come up to eat baby bunnies, and you know, I mean, that's country life.
That's just life.
That is the country.
But she's going to do art classes out there eventually, and I can't wait to go. Not that I can draw, but or paint.
They'll be very small, intimate type classes, you know, 4 or 5 people at tops. And we'll do all kinds of different things because I'm getting back to the point where I don't want to just paint. I took a class in Marfa on I can't even say it now. Kintsugi, and that is where broken things are put back together with gold.
Yes, with gold.
That is fascinating, and the whole process of it is really cool. And I'm really into wabi sabi right now. Where things are not perfect. It's a whole philosophy, but things are not perfect. Things expire. They deteriorate. They are, you know, and my house pretty much represents that because nothing matches. And I have a lot of things that are, you know, that are old that I really love. So the wabi sabi idea goes along with the kintsugi projects, and so I want to do more of those. I'm actually, when I can get out there and get the space prepared, I'm going to go out and I went to Goodwill, found some old plates, white plates, and I'm going to break them, put them back together, and there's a whole philosophy of, you know, you take something and it gets broken, but that doesn't mean it's not usable. That doesn't mean it's not beautiful still. And then you put it all back together. It's kind of like a life lesson. So I'm going to make my own set of plates and bowls doing that.
I love that.
I like that.
I do. And they talk about how when they do fill in the cracks of those things, you know, a lot of times they use gold and silver.
Yeah.
So the actual item, even though it's broken, is worth more now than it was before. And I just love that whole concept, because I feel like as people, when we recover from our brokenness, of course, we are so much better and so much more valuable to our in our gifts and what we can offer to people, and you know, support them in their own brokenness. So I love that.
Well, and actually, when the piece goes back together, when you put it back together, it's stronger.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's stronger. So when I went to my class, I took a red plate that I had and broke it there in class, which was a lot of fun, and then was able to put it back together, and it turned out beautiful. I gave it to my daughter for Chinese New Year, because they're the colors gold and red for Chinese New Year, and we celebrate Chinese New Year big time here. So
Tell them why. Tell them why.
Because of my grandson, we celebrate his heritage, and we want to keep that heritage going for him. And we have a big party every year. Tends to get bigger every year, and so we will continue to do that.
He's a lovely boy. He is so smart and so cute and so funny, and he bosses me around. Can you imagine anybody bossing me around? And I just love it.
He doesn't. He bosses everybody around. He bosses his friends around at school. He tries to boss his mom and me around, and he does me sometimes, but his mom is kind of putting her foot down, saying this is not going well. Especially being home so much. So yeah, and when he gets mad, what's really funny is when he gets mad, he'll come over to my house and he'll tell me all about how mad he is at his mom.
Yeah, but what a great thing to do, though. I mean, seriously, that is awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
See, explain to Manette that you and your daughter live on the same property, but you have separate homes. So
yeah,
he could just run over there.
We live on 2.5 acres, and my daughter and her husband and Shao live in the big house. That sounds like an old Western. And then
Big Daddy.
They live in the big, let's go to the big house. And then I live in the tiny house, which is 400 square feet. And got my own backyard, and I get to roam the 2.5 acres and get a goat and get to play with the chickens, and it's a lot of fun.
Be with nature.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The hardest part of where she lives is dragging her off the property and getting her to come to town for lunch or whatever. She's a homebody. So.
Yeah, this stay-at-home thing is not too difficult for me, but I am finding that there are times that when I just want to get in the car and run to the craft store, I want to run to the grocery store to pick up something, it's not easy anymore. So thank goodness for curbside service. Love the curbside service.
Absolutely.
And appreciate everybody doing that. And anytime when I do the curbside, they bring my stuff, and I thank them profusely for doing what they're doing.
So
they don't have to.
You do so many things. I used to get jealous, but now I'm just glad I know you. Because I have no artistic ability. I can't color in the lines. I can't draw.
That's not true. That's not true. Everybody is artistic. Everybody has creativity.
Well, I can write.
It doesn't have to look the same.
But I can't do anything that's pretty visually. But
that's not true either. But we won't go there. Never mind.
This is why I love her. But so. Here's what I have now always been fascinated about with you and can't really figure out. Do you just get bored with what you're doing, or does like one thing just lead to another because it makes sense and you just flow? Because, I mean, you knit, you crochet, you do this, you do that. I mean, I can't think of anything you don't do artistically, really, except maybe sing. I don't think I've ever heard you sing.
You know, when I was young, I sang, and I got turned down for
crap.
a singing job at a place in Arizona it was like an entertainment place, and I got turned down because I couldn't read sheet music.
Oh, wow.
He said, I love your voice, but you can't read music. And I said, I'll learn. He said, we need somebody right now that can read music. And I went, darn. So
Yeah.
but I don't sing anymore. It's really horrible anymore. I don't even sing to my animals.
Oh.
Yeah, Charlie keeps coming up to me. My dog keeps coming up to me and looking at me like, you're not going to sing, are you?
Oh my gosh.
So is it a process for you, or is it just whatever tickles your fancy?
It has to be something that, okay, so I'll do something for a long period of time, and then sometimes it is like something leads to something else. But a lot of times I do get bored and burned out by doing one particular thing. And so I move on to something else because I have so many interests that, I can pick up. I'm going to be doing stained glass again that I haven't done in years and years and years.
I love stained glass. I love it. Love it, love it.
I'm so excited for that because when my kids were little and Lindsay was just starting into school, we lived close to a stained glass shop. And I went in there on a whim one day and said, I want to take a class. And so I took a class, a basic stained glass class, and loved it, fell in love with it, ended up buying all the things that I needed. And then I went back to her one day and I said, do you need anybody to work in the shop? I'd love to learn to work in the shop. So she let me work in the shop. And I started not only doing small foil, gold foil, stained glass, but I also learned a little bit about the glass and a little bit more about how to work it. And then I started designing stained glass patterns and made a lot of patterns. I made my mom and dad a huge window for their bathroom of a hummingbird and flower, and that was my pattern. And I made another pattern for my brother, and I made a pattern for my dad. I mean, I just started doing the patterns, and it was a lot of fun to work out just how, because there's a certain way you have to do them.
I can't wait till you do that. I love stained glass. I have about 8 pieces in my house that I've gotten from houses and churches and stuff, but I'm going to have you do a special one for me. You know what I want.
I think I probably do.
The thing about it is that Annette's whole family is artistic. Her son is a gorgeous artist and just freehand tattoo artist that does phenomenal things. Her daughter is artistic. Her other son is artistic and very...
He's a sign painter. My other son's a sign painter.
Yeah.
He does hand-painted signs, and that's a dying art.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So he's connected with a lot of other sign painters to do hand-painted signs, and he's been able to do some projects with one of them, and big projects, and they're really cool. So yeah, he's a sign painter. And then Josh, of course, is an artist and tattoo artist. And Lindsay, she can look at something and crochet it into being. I mean, she can just, no pattern, she just does it. Wow. So she's really good.
It's just phenomenal to me. That's one of the few people I can be around and not get annoyed. Go figure. Because she's really bitchy.
I'm sure you have been annoyed at me before.
Not really. Not really. I've been annoyed and you just, not calm me down, but not annoyed at you,
No, well, whatever.
You know what? You know what? She's fun. You know how I like to aggravate Elizabeth? I do the same thing with Annette, but when we go out, I always do Facebook Live when she's not looking.
And I finally had to put my foot down and say, no more.
Yeah, I felt like a kid.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yep. Just had to do it.
Just raining on my parade, dadgummit. You know, it takes so little to amuse me and make me happy. I don't know why you people can't do that more.
You're
I'm
terrible.
not even gonna say I'm gonna work on it because that's not true.
No, I'm not either.
I'm trying not to.
No.
That's the truth.
And I don't know why I waited to
Like
this.
a loaded gun. It's like playing roulette.
Well, you know, what's really funny is that I've always been friends with men. And then this late date, I decided I want to have women friends. Well, now I'm friends with women that are all old and bitchy. So I was like, what was I thinking?
We are not in that category, are we?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Speaking for yourself, Missy.
Missy.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh, you've done been put in your place. She said, Missy.
Oh, my God, I'm shuddering.
But in my heart, but Missy, yes.
So, Annette, what is going to be your next big project? Which, you know, are you going to get that barn cleaned out so we can come be quarantined with you?
Getting that organized, yeah. I got it started. I got a really good start on it, and then I got bored.
Yeah, she has a little ADD sometimes, I will say
do.
that.
I really do. I really do. And
Most creative people do, though. They get bored real quickly, and then they're on to something else. But then they come
I
back.
didn't realize I had a little bit of that, and yeah. So, but I finally got my living space kind of cleared out where I could happily live in it. Worked on the organization of the art stuff, and I'm still working on that because my daughter and her husband are still kind of working on it too. They've got their stuff in there, and I've got my stuff, and so, you know, we have to kind of coordinate. But yeah, I'll get that done, and we'll have a little bit of space, and then I've got plenty of space in my house too. I've always got a table set up with something on it. Right now, I've got this blanket that I'm going to try to make for my new granddaughter. I've already, when they told me they were pregnant, I immediately started crocheting the blanket. So I got that blanket done and sent off. But an idea popped into my head, and I don't even know why, and I saw it in my head, and I decided I needed to make it. So I'd already got the fabric and everything, and it's going to be a mermaid blanket, only it's just going to be like a rectangle, but it's going to have the mermaid scales on it.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm sewing all the scales.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
see the finished product.
Well, I'm hoping I can finish it before she's too old to use it.
And, you know, you never cut corners. You never say, oh, well, that's too hard. Let me do it this way. You always go that extra mile. It fascinates me at the detail that you put into things. And, you know, and you're not a perfectionist, but you're very determined.
I tend to be a perfectionist because I never like any, well, I take that back. There are a few things that I really like that I've done. Your jacket is one of them, and then I made I painted a really beautiful, it was a small size, I could have never worn it, and it sold at one of the fairs, but it was a gold moon with a raven on it,
I
or
love
a
that
crow
one.
on it, and I fell in love with that one. That one was really hard to let go of, and I have a hard time letting go of things sometimes.
Well, that really said you. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, that is her heart and soul right there on that fabric. You know, there's a lot of things you do like, where the hell did that come from? You know, and I just don't even make the connection between you and the art. You know, and I'm like, well, I know she did it for someone else, so that makes sense. But that just said Annette all over the place.
Well, when I first started painting, that was 2005. I had never picked up a paintbrush. Paint and I were not friends.
Oh, wow.
And so whenever I started painting, it was because of some music that I heard, and I started seeing, and I needed to do something with it. So that's when I started doing that. And when I first started, I used fabric and crystals and all kinds of things to create what I was making in my head. Very much multimedia or mixed media stuff. And then I went to straight painting, and I was living in Odessa. One wall that was in the dining room of the apartment, and it was from top to bottom pictures that I painted. And I was seeing clients at that time in my house. I had a room set up for massage therapy. And people would come through and, oh, I love that painting. Are you selling it? Nope, not selling it. Nope, not selling it. And I had one lady who came through. I painted a cougar with, it was kind of a long canvas, narrow canvas, and it was just part of the cougar's face and body. And I painted that, and for weeks, she would come in for her weekly appointment, and she'd say, I really need that painting. And I'm like, can't have it. Love that painting, can't do it. And eventually the paintings kind of start talking to me about where they need to go. And so that cougar was saying, you need to let me go. You need to give me to her. She needs this, you know. So she ended up buying it and promised me that she would bring it back for visits, which she did. She brought it back for visits whenever she would come for her appointment. But sometimes the paintings just tell me it's time to go. I've had several do that.
Well, the other thing I want people to know about you is that your talents are in other areas as well. Annette is certified as a life coach. She is certified in handwriting analysis and handwriting therapy. She also is, are you certified or just trained in sign language? I don't know. Which one is it?
I am not certified, and I am learning again, basically.
So, I mean,
I was an interpreter years and years ago.
So, I mean, she's just so talented and on so many levels. Are you taking any requests or commissions right now, or are you just focused on something else?
No, I'm always open for commissions and requests.
So tell people how they can get a hold of you best.
Probably best just to get on my Facebook and message me, or Instagram and message me. That's probably two of the easiest ways. Heart Journey Studio is what I am on both of those platforms.
I just love the name of your thing, Heart Journey Studios. I mean, that's awesome. So I think that kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what are you going to be working on next? What's your next piece?
Well, in between the the blanket.
Like that's not enough.
It may take me a while because it takes a long time to cut that fabric out and piece everything together. I don't know how many scales it's going to take to do a small blanket, but I really don't have anything pressing at this moment. I will probably bring out the watercolors again because I'm kind of missing those, and they're easy to do inside. And
I only have one of your watercolors, and that's the bee that you did for me.
You've got two.
Two.
You've got the wolf.
Oh, that's right. I have him set up with my flutes and my wolf flutes and all that. That's right. I forgot. You're right. You're right. He has his own little. It's like an altar, even though I don't do altars. It's he's in the center, and I've got my flutes with the wolves and the stones and all that. So he's in his natural habitat.
I love all that.
That's interesting, that wolf story, because you told us the story about the wolf the other day.
Yeah. And that was one of the first people to recognize that wolf was kind of my thing, my animal, I've had a few people that saw it, but she really went into detail with it, so it was interesting.
Well, there was y'all had Sandra Larson on just recently, Monday, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. She, I'm sure she told you about the experience of the tiger
Right.
that she had. And we were kind of hanging out at meetups together. I was at hers and vice versa. And I was doing a lot of massage at that point in time. And I'm a big believer that monotony is the best way to become creative. Do something that's monotonous, that you just lose yourself in, that you don't have to think, and really creative things come. And so I was in the middle of a massage, and a tiger came to me.
Wow.
A big, beautiful tiger right in my face. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm talking to myself, you don't have to be that close, And she called herself the queen. And she said, you need to paint me for Sandra. I said, oh, okay, I will paint you for Sandra. And so I put it off, and I ended up hurting my wrist and not being able to massage, and I had to go in for a MRI. And every once in a while, between that time, the tiger would come to me and say, when are you going to do it? You need to paint. You need to paint it. And so I was in the MRI with very uncomfortably placed with my wrist, as they do. And I'm trying to just veg out, just not think of anything. And she came back and said, you need to do it now.
Whoa.
I said, fine, I'll do it. So I got home, grabbed all the paints, put the canvas, and I was going to Sandra's meetup that night. Grabbed the paints, put the canvas on the easel. Normally I have to play with the colors and play with, it takes me a while because I'm not trained, so it takes me a while. And as I was getting everything out, I just had a vision in my head of what it should look like, and I started painting. 2 hours it was finished. I have no idea how I could finish in 2 hours.
Wow.
I don't even remember finishing. I don't remember the details of how I painted what. So luckily it was acrylic and it dried quickly, and I sealed it and took it to Sandra that night. And they said, do you see the Indian in that? I'm going, what? And she said, yeah, there's an Indian in the painting. And sure enough, there's an Indian in the painting.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Could not have planned that. If I can find the photo, I'll send it to y'all. But yeah, could not have planned it. So 2 hours it took me to paint a nice sized canvas that I had no idea what I was doing, and got it to her that night. And Tiger never came back.
That really
Wow.
is. But there's not anything that you can say that would surprise me. Annette gave me probably one of the best gifts I've ever gotten in my life as far as a life lesson. And she doesn't know it, so this will surprise her. We were at the office one day taking a walk, and she's a tree, literally. And I was,
I am.
yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, seriously, I'm just like, what the hell? I love being outdoors, and I love the energy, and I love being grounded, but I've never thought about the energy of every little thing outdoors. It was just indoors and outdoors. And she was talking about the energy of the different things, and through her just experiences and how that makes her feel and what she gets, I finally different vibrational energies from everything outside and could start discerning that. And a lot of times I can kind of zone, and don't understand how to control that. But that helped me to manage that and start controlling that better and get more focused with stuff like that. And it has been phenomenal for me to know how to do that in my own spiritual growth. And she didn't even know that she taught me that. We've never talked about it. The other thing I love about Annette is she lets me take my dark side out and say, look, here it is. Deal with it.
And you allow me to do the same.
Yeah, we have very similar dark sides. It's kind of interesting, because
Even though our backgrounds are totally different.
Completely. But we have very sister-like dark sides that can be very ugly sometimes. And we just take them out and we play with them, and then we wrap them up and put them back up. So, all is well. I adore her.
It feels all about it, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the best compliment, someone told me this about myself, because one of the things I spent a long time trying to do was to squelch it and basically kill it, put it away. How can you be a good person? How can you be enlightened and have a dark side? And that person said to me, the best thing about you, Deborah, is that you understand that you have a dark side, but you take it out and you play with it and you love it, and then you put it up, and that's you controlling it, not it controlling you. And from that day on, I've just embraced it. It is what it is.
I learned whenever I didn't know anything about the shadow side of people. I just knew that I got angry at people, or they were ugly to me, or I just didn't know anything about the shadow part of people. And I was at this is another kind of weird story too. I was at Half Price Books, and I was looking in the metaphysical section, and there was the book by Debbie Ford, The Dark Side of the Light Side of the Shadow, or I can't remember the title of it, but it's Debbie Ford. She died a while back, but it was this book about shadow, the shadow part of people. And I took it down and I looked at it, and I held it in my hand, and I put it back up, and there was a lady standing right next to me. I mean, in my space. I don't like that. Deborah knows I don't like that.
No.
And I looked at her, and she said, you probably need that book. That's a really good book. So I pulled it back down, and I kind of looking at her, and then I was thumbing through the book and looking at the table of contents, and it was really, it had a lot of really cool stuff in it. And I looked back up, and she's not there.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I'm going around the corner. I'm looking for her in the store. Nowhere to be found. Wow. And I'm thinking, oh crap! I need this book, I guess. So, I ended up getting the book, and I read all about the shadow people in one weekend. It was not a very big book, but shadow side of us, and that helped me understand a little bit better. It helped me.
That's what it is. We're human. We're allowed. We're meant. We're just not meant to be controlled by us. We're meant to be in charge. And I think once people understand that, things get easier. And you're allowed to feel what you feel. I get mad all the time. I'll tell people, you have pissed me off. But I love you anyway. We'll move on. I don't act on it. I don't hit them. I don't shoot them. What are you doing, Elizabeth?
I thought I was going to sneeze there for a minute. I was trying to hide it.
I thought you were shooting me the finger.
I can do this gracefully. I'm just trying to go.
I thought she was shooting me the finger. Good God. I just projected
one
it.
of the big things that I said was, we got to make sure we do not use that word. That cannot be used if we're going to be, doing this on a live basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It popped out. I don't even remember it popping out. That's what's so bad. It's like.
I felt justified. I felt totally justified.
Well, my thinking is if somebody gets really, really disgruntled over that, then they probably shouldn't be listening.
Ah, fuck them.
Not to this show, anyway.
If they
I don't know what the hell's going to be coming out. Okay, yeah. Gee, okay, let's don't go there.
I already went. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Here's my ad. Annette, I love you. I miss you desperately. Drinking when it is over, and you know,
I don't know when that's going to be.
I don't chair and say that 6 foot, stay over there. I'll bring my own bourbon. We'll be good.
We could do.
So
Yeah, about the only time I get out is curbside. I mean, literally.
hey, I could dress up in a car hop. Alcohol in your car.
I don't drink.
Difficult. I said I'll drink it. Don't be difficult.
I don't drink, and no, don't do that.
Well, you know, you can go to the drive-in movies, and we have several here, but my problem is that what if you have to go to the bathroom? Because there's 2 features at the drive-in. That's 4 hours, not counting intermission. And I'm going to drink and eat popcorn, even if I take my own. And then you have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, crap, you know. So unless you're going to wear Depends, I guess I could do that. You know. Yeah, take a bedpan, you know. Well, I have one of those urinal things where you can stand up and pee like a guy. Listen, when you do surveillance, hey, shut up. When you have to do surveillance for hours, you have to be prepared as a woman, you know.
Well, that's why you work there and I don't.
Going to the movie is not surveillance. So
That's true.
Well, I'd have to find a place to do it anyway. Where would I go where no one would see me? You know, that would
I
be.
don't know.
You have to find it nearby.
See, there's
Nearby tree or bush.
Well, there are no bushes and trees at the drive-in, Gail. They would block your vision.
No, but
You gotta
if
see
you're
the screen.
outside, Just walk right outside around the wall.
Well, you know, actually, if you went right now, I don't think you'd have to worry about it. You could put it anywhere. Because it would be like, really? How many of us are here? One?
Right.
2. There's 2 of us. Okay. I don't think that would be an issue.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what it was for?
Oh, I don't even know if I want to go there.
Uh-oh.
It was for jaywalking. Okay. It was for jaywalking.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be
really?
indecency.
Yes. Jaywalking in downtown Dallas. So you know that they're giving out tickets for indecent exposure. Who would get it? It'd be me. I would get it. Yes.
That's right.
Do they really give tickets for jaywalking?
They did that. Story behind that. Okay. This is when I had my bail bond office, and I was in the bail bond business, and I was going to court one day to do a bond forfeiture hearing, and I had left some paperwork at my office, and our office was right across the street from the courthouse. Okay, so I just ran across the street in the middle of the block, and there was a police officer there that did not care for me. Can you imagine that? I'm adorable.
No.
I am adorable, and this police officer. This police officer and I did not get along, and it was a female. That's the other thing that pissed me off. Why would a woman do this to another woman? And that little witch gave me a jaywalking ticket. And I just ran it up to one of the other courts because I had a lot of judges that liked me. I was like, can you believe she did that? And they said, no, and they tore it up. So, but still. Yeah. It was. I have a bunch of bail bond stories that'll freak you out, though. We'll have to do bail bonds one day. Bail bonds,
Yes.
the dark side.
Literally,
Yes.
the dark side.
Oh my gosh, yeah, a lot. But here's the thing: the criminals that you deal with are not the ones that really you have to worry about. It's the people on the other side of the fence that make your life miserable.
Right.
You expect criminals to do things badly. They're criminals. That's what they do. That's their job. So. Well,
Lynette, thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome.
on. It's
I
been
enjoyed
such a
it.
delight. Good to see you too.
and you're today. Thank you.
Oh, well, this is a tie-dye shirt we did
See, another talent.
at a
Oh my
tie-dye
gosh.
party.
Wow.
We had a tie-dye party at the house for Sean, his friends.
Hey, that's what we should do when we're out of quarantine. Have a tie-dye
Fun.
party and release balloons and all kinds of crap.
No
No
releasing of
balloons.
balloons.
I don't
No
like
releasing
balloons.
of balloons.
Okay, well, whatever.
Wow.
I just want a fire pit and I want to dance naked around the fire.
Not at my house.
Maybe
Dang.
we need protection around the eyes then.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now we're actually taking the glasses off.
Okay. All right. Are we ready to turn the film off?
Well, Annette, it was good seeing you. It's been a long time.
Absolutely.
I know.
Thank you for coming on, sweetie.
This is all over. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
This one, bye.
Talk to you later.
Bye bye.
Okay, what's going on here?